Hello, welcome to Higher Ground Gaming. This is Eric, my co-host Mr. Brody and Miss Mags, as you can see right here, are anxiously awaiting this video on Grimoire, Heralds of the Winged Exemplar. Then we're going to talk about character creation, party formation, including classes, and which are also called professions, and races. Some of the combinations of those, some of the things that affect the strengths and weaknesses of characters, some things you can do to add skill points and hit points and whatnot, how to distribute basically your stats and everything. Again, it's not going to be an exhaustive thing, as I'm just pretty new to the game, although I watched quite a few videos on it and read some walkthroughs and wikis and forums and all kinds of stuff like that. But so I figured I'd give you guys a general basic idea and give you some ideas of what characters you might want to create. Like I mentioned in the last video, I'm shooting for possibly this weekend of starting a playthrough of this. Now again, it's going to be a lot of hours. It's promised up to 600 hours. I don't think it's going to be that many, but it's definitely going to be a playthrough that's going to take a while. So anyway, without further ado, let's get started here. So I'm going to go into the library to show you some of the things of character creation here. So this is basically how you create your characters here. In fact, I'm going to get rid of Hold on. Alright, I guess that's a little better. It's kind of over the create and the exit button. That's not a big deal. So alright, so this is basically how you go through creating a character. Create up to 8 characters here. You can create many more than that, but only 8 can be in your party at once. So I'm just going to go through each of the classes and the races first, and then the classes. Show you a little bit about what each one is. Alright, so here you choose your race here. So first right here, and I'll go through some of the what the different abbreviations and stuff mean as they go through it. I'm using a guidebook, kind of a guidebook I got off the internet here. Alright, so first you have your human class. The human class basically can be any profession or class. However, they don't have any, as you can see here, the strengths have no significant advantages or disadvantages. So there's nothing that sets them apart or any strengths or weaknesses, basically. As you can see, weaknesses here, average traits and average resistances. Careers, those are the careers. That's the same thing as the professions or classes. This is well suited to almost any profession. It means it can be anything. It won't do anything like excellently, but it won't do anything horribly either. So it's kind of right in the middle of everything, kind of the jack of all trades thing. Special, those are like special attacks, or if there's any special weakness, special constrictions or that each class has according to certain resistances and stuff like that, it gets mentioned here. So basically no special powers or limitations, so it's a pretty neutral character. So you'll be able to see it probably more as we go along and describe some of the other races. This is the bearer, kind of like a dwarf, I guess. So its strengths are, it's got a plus strength, STR, plus wisdom, WIS, and plus devotion. What the devotion means is equivalent to like faith. And basically what that means determines the rate at which skills are improved. Influences the amount of mana points you get on level up. So the higher the devotion, the higher mana points, the higher the rate at which skills are improved, etc. That kind of stuff. Okay. Weaknesses: they have low speed, which is kind of common with a dwarf. Now, speed in this game determines order of acting. In some games it's agility and stuff. The higher the agility, the faster you'll go, or the order of battle. Kind of like in strategy games, stuff like that. Whoever has the highest speed or highest agility goes first. So in this case, the highest speed goes first. So speed is kind of important for all characters. But here it's the Barrowers, the dwarves have low speed and low resistances to Gal. What that means, Gal, I believe, is the galvanic, they call it. So it's which is also, I guess, electricity. It says here. So it's got a low resistance to monsters that might use electricity. Okay. So these are recommended. These aren't all the careers or all the professions they can use, but these are the recommended ones based upon their stats and everything. So they make the best of these, I guess you could say. Warrior, Berserker, Metalsmith, and Thaumaturge. Now I'll go into all of those at once later on. After this, I'll go through each one of the classes here. So you guys can pause and rewind and go back and forth on these videos. So I'm just trying to give you all the information, and you can use them until you decide what class and profession, career, whatever you want to call it, and then race you want to pick. Now you can also do male and female also too. And male has more strength, and the female has more fel, which is fellowship, which means recruiting and talking, that kind of stuff. Charisma, I guess you can call it. Okay. Alright, so that is your Barrower. A lot of these, 14 of them to start with one other one. The Fey Folk. Now, strengths, so it's kind of a fairy looking thing. Strengths are intelligence, speed, agility, INT, AGI, and a high knack. A high knack, what that means is knack is, I think that's natural armor class. So they have a built-in like armor. I don't think they can wear a lot of armor. Yeah, special weapons and armor requirements because they already have a high built-in natural armor class. Okay. Weaknesses are low strength. You can kind of tell by the way they look, they're low in strength. Constitution determines your carrying capacity, and that's only for equipped weapons and armor and encumbrance. Okay. How well a character deals with diseases and other conditions. So a higher constitution means you better deal with diseases and stuff like that. Now, every death here, when you die, you lose. I think it's like 10 points of constitution every time you die, and eventually I think it resets itself. But so dying and stuff like that affect your constitution. So they already start out with a low constitution. Okay. So obviously you don't want to have them be like a warrior or a berserker or some kind of frontline. They're more of a spellcaster type. Okay. So low overall resistances, as we said earlier, with the low constitution. You have low resistances in general. Now here are the careers for it: wizard, assassin, necromancer, and thief. In general, 2 out of 4 of those are spellcasters. Assassin and thief also. Special, system resistance. System resistance. I'll show you exactly what that entails. That's system. System resistance is less than or equal to 40. Which means you can't put more than that. And we'll get a little bit more into that as we go on. special weapons and armor requirements. Okay, that's your Fey folk. So you have your Naga, which is kind of like your fish, I guess. You see he's got a bow. They probably make good rangers. Anyway, so strengths for Naga are going to be plus speed, so and agility, so they're fast, and plus resistance to Ka and Tox. So causistic is caustic. I don't know exactly what that means, but you guys probably do. If you don't, you can look it up. And toxic is toxicity, so poisons. So they have a resistance to that stuff. Weaknesses, they have a low willpower, and willpower in this game is resistance against mind attacks, so maybe some attack bonuses. So they won't get a lot of attack bonuses, and they don't have a lot of resistance against the enemy tries to use mind attacks. So they have a low willpower and low wisdom. You don't want to make a spellcaster out of one of these guys. Wisdom is how quickly you gain skill points from unsuccessful actions, such as hiding, scouting, or using a weapon. So pretty much a lot of the stuff that you do in this game, you'll skill up as you use weapons, or scouting, or searching, that kind of stuff, or lockpicking. Okay, wisdom is probably the most important spellcaster level, possibly clerics. Maybe only clerics, it says. I would think it would be for spellcasters. Thus, they don't make good spellcasters. Okay, careers. Now, pirate and assassin. I think both of those, or at least one of those, I know pirate is not readily available initially. It's a prestige class, which is later on. So pirate, you can't have initially to start with. So that's one class you're not going to be able to choose from initially. And I think you can dual class and stuff like that later on, once you get, I think it's level 10. And then assassin. I'm pretty sure you can have that. No, that's actually a prestige class. And those are, I think you have to have certain high rolls for those things too. So the Nagas, basically, you can use, like I said, just because it's the careers I mentioned there, doesn't mean they can't be them. Now, later on, we're going to go over something called multipliers, which means that you'll get a certain amount of skill points at first to start with, and then certain classes or careers get more skill points per level, and each career or profession levels up at a different rate, and we'll go a little bit into that later on too. So, I know it's a lot of stuff to take hold of. Just try to remember the basics here. If you think something looks cool, try it out. We're probably going to try to get a good balance. It recommends you have like 3 or 4, at least 3 or 4 frontline guys, which means like meat shields, I guess you can call it. People that are like warriors and giants that can take a lot of damage and have a lot of hit points. Absorb a lot of the damage while the spellcasters do their work. So basically it's recommended like 3 or 4 of those guys. Ranger is also considered one of those too. And 3 or 4 damage dealers, spellcasters kind of stuff too. Basically back row type guys. So, but you don't have to stick to that, but it's just kind of recommended. But we'll see. We'll see what people want and want to do, and we'll try to balance it out based upon that. So that's the Naga. Mez is less than or equal to 30, which means that's that. Mesmeric, mesmerize, I guess the word is kind of like low resistance to that. Special helms and armor requirements. See, you probably can't wear pants. Where did you put them? Okay. Next is the Ratu, which is kind of like a rat. Strengths are speed and agility, which kind of makes sense. Resistances to... Okay. Good resistances to... cold. COL is cold. Toxicity. And... death. Species that create death types. Maybe it just means hard to kill. Okay. Weaknesses: low willpower, low devotion, which means kind of like we mentioned before for they don't improve skills that fast. Fire. Fire is fire. Oh, fellowship. It's a fellowship. It's low fellowship. They're not very believable or talkative. It's got low resistance to sonar. I think that's SON is sonar. Sonic. Mental, MEN, and mesmeric. Low resistance to that means they're easily tricked or mind controlled kind of thing. And animals are the only ones that animal types are the only ones that can be mind controlled. You can't mind control like a plant or something like that, I guess. Okay. Careers: thief, pirate, and assassin, which means speed and agility. Those are all ones for speed and agility. Again, the pirate and the assassin is special is Sonic is less than or equal to 50. Again, I don't know what a lot of these are. I'm just kind of going over them. We'll find out a lot of this stuff as we go on. Okay. Aorb. Now these are recommended to have. It's recommended to have one of these in your party because they have a natural. I think they have a natural armor. Is it? No. They don't have a natural armor. They make good sages. They have high intelligence and wisdom, and are resistant to men and mental and mez. Weaknesses: low strength and constitution. Kind of makes sense. They kind of look weak. Low resistance to room, which is like light, I believe. Low natural armor, which kind of makes sense. Careers: wizard, sage, and thermophage. They make great sages. I guess it's kind of recommended that you have one sage in your party too, a sage or a bard, I think, because a sage is kind of a jack of all trades, covers everything. And also too, they get a special attack. Now, not all class races get a special attack, but there's a handful of them. This is one of them. It gets it right away in level 1. So Mind Flay, basically it scrambles up the opponent's thoughts and stuff. It's got a loom, which is the light of less than 40. Special helms and headgear required, obviously, because it's got an eyeball for a head. So. Vampires, these are like vampires. Strengths are agility and wisdom, plus resistance to sorcery. Any type of sorcery spells against them. Earth spells against them. Cold spells against them. So they have a lot of. They're resistant to a lot of things, which is good. Mental, mesmeric, and air. Now, here are the weaknesses. These are kind of big weaknesses. Actually, it's under special. But weaknesses are low constitution and devotion, low resistance to fire, which makes sense for vampire, Luma light. Vampires don't like light. And electricity. Gal. Organic. Careers. Which kind of makes sense. This is necromancer, like raising the dead type. Necro demons and things like that. Wizard. And assassin. Probably all makes sense for a vampire. Now, you've got a special thing, charm, which you get right away, which is a very useful spell. Loom, less than 50, so that's really, really low. It means light, obviously, vampires light menace. So, all attributes, 50% in sunlight. So that means whatever it has for attributes over here on the left, all these attributes, when it's sunlight, when they're out in the open, it gets halved, so they're not as powerful there. Now, it can be also be I read like a room that's kind of like in an outside area, but it's like a hut or something like that. So it's technically not underground. So that's considered outside too. So just because it's not out in the wilderness, it could also be considered being out in sunlight if it's in a building that's kind of like above ground and doesn't have it has windows in it. So that's something to pay attention to. They are very powerful. You can see a lot of resistances, but they also have a lot of, you gotta be careful. Don't only use them in certain situations, or else they won't be as powerful. If we choose to pick one. Okay. Drow. Strengths are intelligence and devotion. Spellcaster class. Race, I guess you could say spellcaster race, but they're suited to that. Resistance to sorcery, toxic, and mesmeric. Weaknesses, low strength, kind of makes sense. Most spellcaster classes are, or races. Many low physical resistances. Squishy, basically. Careers, wizard and necromancer, makes sense for that. And can equip special armor and weapons. That's kind of cool. And it's got a system of less than 40. I don't know if that's an eternal system of what. Again, there's no real true guidebook to this, so kind of like a lot of guessing or through other people playing the game a lot over the development period. I've come up with these over the last few months, especially. It just got released. I think it was August 4th. I just looked it up. August 4th it got released. So it hasn't been out that long, although it's been in development for a while. Now the Wolfhead, these are the ones that make the good rangers. And I guess too, at first, there's not a lot of bows and arrows and stuff like that are kind of scarce. So if you pick a ranger class, you kind of have to go with, you have to build up your hand-to-hands and weapon skills first before you do your range skills. Just a note in case you want to be a ranger. Strengths of the wolfing class are fellowship, charisma, like we said, increased speed, which is good, devotion. Now, surprisingly, doesn't have. You think agility would be on here, but I guess speed is more important for the ranger class. But you can always add points into that. There's no bonuses. And it's resistant to cold. Weaknesses: low resistance to mesmeric, sonic, and I'm not sure what that star is in mental. Maybe it's only certain mental. Careers recommends ranger or cleric. And special is sonic resistance is less than 40. Okay. Next is your Saurian, dragon type. Kind of reminds me of something out of Buck Rogers, one of the Gold Box games involving the Buck Rogers games had like monsters like this. You went to a planet and you fought monsters like that. I think you also had a class you could be like this too. But anyway, Saurian is increased strength, which you can kind of tell, speed and agility, so some good attributes there. And general physical, so any physical resistances, it has a lot of that. Weaknesses to it has low intelligence, makes sense. Low willpower, low fellowship, low devotion, low resistance to hypnotized there. Hypnosis means it can be hypnotized easily. Air spells and cold. And careers are make sense with being strong, speed, and agility. It's warrior and berserker. Now we're going to berserker later. What the differences are there. Okay. I may just break this off. I may just go through the races now and then do another video on the agility. On the careers and stuff. But this one's gone almost a half an hour here. So, okay, next is special is Stinking Bile. So that's a special attack. You get that right away. Attack, you get it early on. Swimming. Swimming is kind of an important skill in this game. They're naturally high. So that's good. You have to level up with other characters. And cold, you got to be 60, which isn't too bad. It isn't that low. Drake, again another warrior type, meat shield type class. Plus strength, willpower, wisdom, speed. So it's got a lot of good strengths here. Plus resistant to caustic, fire, and system. Weakness, low devotion, low constitution, low agility, low resistance to earth type spell. Careers, warrior and metalsmith. Metalsmith, we'll get into that a little bit later. It's kind of a unique. Special breathe fire, and cold. Grimoire, another warrior type class, a lion type thing. Plus strength, willpower, and fellowship. Resistant to cold, mental, and mesmer. So some good resistances there. Want to make a good tank type. Low resistance to fire and earth. Not bad for weaknesses. Only a couple little weaknesses there, but strength-wise, stat-wise, they're pretty powerful. Careers, berserker and ranger. You see berserker. Well, ranger they consider like a tank class. Special, it has a special battle. So not really weaknesses, and it's got like that special attack. That's kind of cool. Durandal is like an alien type. Plus strength, agility, and intelligence, and resistant to earth. Weaknesses, low strength and low natural armor, so another high natural. Careers, sage, bard, and templar. Templars, again, sage and bard you can get right away, but templar is something you have to get later on, and you have to roll pretty high stats in your other professions to get to that. Special can only equip special armor. Durandal. And lastly, the giant, which is another meat shield type thing, as you can tell. Strength and constitution. System and earth spells. Weaknesses are low intelligence, kind of makes sense, and low speed. Careers, warrior and metalsmith. Again, you could be a berserker probably with him, but these are the most common ones. The best suited for it based upon its stats. And special mental is less than 7. So that's it for your races right there. So I think we're going to break it right here. And in the next video, I'm going to go over the careers and professions and perhaps other little things too. Alright, so thank you for joining me. It's been Eric from Higher Ground Gaming. And we'll see you in the next video of Grimoire, Heralds of the Winged Exemplar. Take care and God bless. Bye-bye.